Dear colleagues, this is a hypermature cataract done in subconscious anesthesia, incising the anterior capsule with a knife, injecting some trypan blue to stain the capsule, and then using microforceps and doing the capsular axis. It's very hard to distinguish the anterior capsule, but even with that trypan blue, but I managed to fashion a large and round capsular axis. It's especially important in these leathery cataracts to have large capsular axis to be able to maneuver that nucleus inside the bag really well. On the first push of the foot pedal switch, I engage the anterior capsule, but I release it and everything is back to normal. Making a small trench to embed the phacoemulsification needle inside the middle of the nucleus and attempting a crack. With this new chopper, it's a short chopper, not a very long one that I like to use in these leathery cases. It's making a partial crack and then rotating the nucleus. I divide the nucleus further and have another partial crack here, and insisting on that posterior plate to crack. And it's always a good idea to have two distinct heminucleuses when you deal with these leathery cataracts. Mechanically pushing the back of the nucleus, the back plate, and it's snapping at last. Using the chopper to further chop this leathery cataract, I like to have smaller and smaller pieces to crack the nucleus using the chopper, and not leave the phacoemulsification probe to use the ultrasound to emulsify those leathery parts of the nucleus. Will ensure clear cornea the next day, and you make sure you don't have a surge into anterior chamber and bring the posterior capsule very quick into the phaco probe needle. Having these smaller and smaller pieces, I think it's a good idea to do these cases. Stopping at the middle of the phacoemulsification and replenish the bag and AC with viscoelastic, and then getting to the last part of the nucleus, the last heminucleus, and again engaging with the phaco probe, and then using the chopper to divide and split those parts into smaller pieces, so it will be easier to just aspirate, not use so much phaco power, and not use the vacuum to the extent of the maximum capacity of this machine. And you have a stable chamber if you do this, less fluctuation, less surge into the anterior chamber. Taking the time in these cases, we don't have to rush, and doing multiple chops, smaller and smaller pieces, and especially at the last part when we have the last fragments, we have no protection on the posterior capsule and nothing to hold it back, so we have to be real careful with the foot switch and have the chopper on a lower level to protect the posterior plate. It's a very good idea to keep it in front and lower than the phaco needle. I use the bevel down to have a better grip on the pieces, but not pressing down the foot switch too hard. If you notice, I'm just taking smaller and smaller bites on all this leathery cataract, especially at the last fragment. And the phacoemulsification, it's finished with no complication. It's good to have a clean bag at the end of phacoemulsification, and the last cortical remnants I use aspiration needle and AC maintainer into the main incision to finish up the last cortical removal part. And underneath the main incision, I always have to check. In this case, I find a big chunk of cortex, and injecting the IOL under irrigation inside the bag, it's very easy to do. Cleaning up the anterior chamber of viscoelastic, injecting some IOL to constrict the pupil, and an air bubble at the end. And that's the last part. Thank you for your attention.